So I spent a couple hours in a live last night, and it was the Justin Baldoni girls. I'll tag them, like Elrich, and then Raven, and then I'm not sure, like Carol. I'll try and tag them, but they did like a 12-hour live yesterday, and then we're going through all of like the depositions, but they actually did like, you know, kind of like each one took a character and really kind of not performed it, but read it out loud, and it takes on such a different, not context, but I feel like you understand it so much more when it's said out loud. And it's like, obviously they have their biases because, you know, they're on one side, but even without that, just listening to the way that Baldoni, Steve Sorowitz, and Jamie Heath replied to questions, and the way that Blake did, I find very interesting. And it's like, I don't necessarily care what people say. I think it's the way that they say it. And in like, I absolutely live by the thing that people will tell you who they are, you just have to listen. And it's so interesting. And I found it on TikTok, like a lot of conservative men will talk in a certain way, use certain words, and I'm finding that so much more on Ryan and Blake's side. Very like, not conservative values, but just the way that they speak, like, you know, using mummy sleuth as like, you know, a put down, and like, you know, him bringing up the writer saying that, you know, her script was trash and that she was a feminist, which I thought, how is that fucking relevant? I just thought that was very interesting for him to choose that word in describing her shit work. I was like, But yeah. So the depositions are so interesting, and they're quite humorous actually, but it's very interesting how, not open, but just how like more comfortable they are talking about what happened, and talking in about a way that comes off very truthful, and they're quite expansive with their questions, and obvious, and sometimes answer, especially Baldoni, answers way more than he needs to, and like will add context and add this other stuff, which is usually not normal in a deposition, because like lawyers want you to shut the fuck up, because you don't want to say anything that will, you know, like cause another question or lead someone down a different road or something like that, because when you say it, you open it up. But it's so interesting the way they answered versus Blake. She was very yes, no, yes, which is obviously at the direction of her lawyers, but I thought it was just very interesting. Very interesting. And while that doesn't ever mean like she's right, he's right, nothing. It's just in the way that they communicate. And I think it really shows people's, not morals, but I think the way that they see themselves in the world. And it's, yeah, if I was a jury member, which sucks, I can fucking never be, but I would very much look at that as, this isn't gelling with me.